How's it going, everyone? And welcome back to Rangers Rundown. The Rangers have put together a 3-game winning streak as part of this road trip that they are on. The road trip ends Saturday in Ottawa, then they come back home on Monday night. And this road trip's not going so bad for them. You know, the season started off a little rocky, but they've put together a 3-game win streak. So let's talk about this game. Let's talk about what happened. Kakko's still on IR, but he skated today in practice, which is a good sign, so he should be back soon, hopefully. And Strome is still in COVID protocol. So again, the Rangers, without 2 of their top 6 forwards, have put together 3 wins in a row, which is promising because the depth of this team was something that I think the fan base was split about, but we seem to be doing all right so far. Lineup tonight: Panarin, Zibanejad, and Kreider on that top line, so Lafreniere and Panarin switch. Second line, Hedl with Lafreniere and Blais. Sammy Blais on the second line tonight, and he actually had himself a pretty good night. Rooney, Hunt, and Gaudreau on that third line, and then the fourth line, Barron, McKegg, and Reeves. Lindgren, Fox, Miller, Trubin, Nemeth, Lundqvist. We know the deal with the decor. That's really not going to change unless somebody gets injured. And then Shesterkin was in net again. You ride the hot goalie. Shesterkin's been white hot. Coming into that first period, Nashville, early pressure, which makes sense. Nashville's arena is one of the louder ones in the NHL. So it makes sense that kind of the energy was on their side to start the game. They did hit a post very early in the game, but 2 minutes and 12 seconds into the game, Hedl would score his first goal of the season. He took it right into the zone. It was a backhand that went right under the blocker. Saros probably should have had that. That was a soft goal to let in. He was probably thinking pass, and Hedl got him with the goal, but we take it, and the Rangers go up 1-0 early in the game. 4:10, Kreider was high-sticked by Trouba, but they looked at it thinking it was a Nashville player that had high-sticked him, so they blew the whistle, called the penalty. They went and looked at the review. It was actually Trouba that whacked him in the face, so they play on, no penalty there. 5:02, Lindgren gets a good shot. But it gets a little scrummy right after that because Rooney swiped at Saros's glove right as he was covering the puck. Nashville didn't like that, so it got a little scrummy around the net. It was contentious out there. I won't say it was very contentious, but these two teams were showing each other in hits and after the whistle meetings that, you know, it was going to be a physical game, and it was a physical game. 6:24, Blais gets called for cross-checking. First penalty kill unit, Rooney, Gaudreau, Fox, and Lindgren. That's probably going to be a pretty common first penalty kill unit for the Rangers. Shesterkin with a big save on that penalty kill and a big shot block by Rooney. Nice to see him using the body. Kreider and Zibanejad on that second penalty kill. And Kreider had a shorthanded chance. I'm assuming that's why Kreider is on the penalty kill occasionally, because sometimes he gets breakaways shorthanded. This wasn't the first time we saw him get a shorthanded chance even this season. 11:08, Zibanejad had a very good chance, and the Rangers had a little bit of sustained pressure. Their forechecking was way better tonight. Now, maybe that's a combination of the Rangers actually being better at forechecking tonight, or they're not playing Toronto anymore. Probably a combination of the two. Nashville has a couple of shifts of very good pressure. I would say Nashville controlled the puck more than the Rangers did tonight, but the Rangers came out with the win anyway. Shesterkin had a big save on Yossi, middle of this first period. Shesterkin standing strong. 15 minutes into this first period, the shots are 8-10 in favor of Nashville. So both teams getting a lot of shots and both goalies really standing tall. Nashville was controlling play for 4 of the last 5 minutes, but 19:07, Ekholm would take a slashing penalty. Zibanejad had a very good shot to start that power play. But they wouldn't score, and they would start the second period with just over a minute of power play time. End of the first period, shots are 10-12 in favor of Nashville. Second period, Lafreniere got a good shot on the power play, and he was slashed to draw a penalty. Kreider hits the crossbar shortly after. 1:14, Jeannot took a hooking penalty. Nashville almost had a shorthanded chance, but it was blocked by the Rangers, so preventing that shorthanded chance. 1:52, Benning and Hunt kind of talked to each other and exchanged niceties a little bit. Benning elbowed Blais into the glass. So Benning elbowed Blais, and he goes into the glass, falls to the ground, holding his face. Hunt doesn't like that, so Hunt comes over, and gloves and sticks drop, but they don't call it fighting. They just call it roughing. The refs were able to get there and stop it before it turned into a full-blown fight. So Benning gets called for 2 penalties, the elbow on Blais plus the roughing against Hunt. Hunt also takes a roughing penalty against Benning, so the Rangers get a power play. It turned into a 5-on-3. They were already on the power play. Now that Benning took another penalty, the Rangers had almost a minute and a half of 5-on-3 time, which means they spent the first 4 minutes of the second period on the power play, and they had nothing to show for it. It was kind of disappointing. Shesterkin had a big save shortly after that, and then at 7:01 of this second period, Tomasino would score his first NHL goal, and he would be the 3rd player this year so far to score their first NHL goal against the Rangers. So, you're welcome. Happy to help. It was a shot from behind the net. It bounces off of Shesterkin and goes in. Not really a goal you want to see, but, you know, sometimes those happen. Shortly after, the Rangers almost score. There was a rebound left in front of the crease, but it was cleared out before the Rangers could tuck it in. 8 minutes and 10 seconds, a full line scrum. A Nashville player fell into the boards right near Trouba, so naturally they blamed Trouba. It was a hard fall. He was fine, but lines come together. There's a big crowd. These teams probably didn't like each other that much tonight. 9:57, a streaking Zibanejad hit a post. I think he had 3 posts tonight. 3 posts or crossbars. Zibanejad is just, we're seeing first half of the season last year Zibanejad where he was just snake bitten. Like, he's hitting a lot of posts. He's getting a lot of chances, but not a lot of them are going in. Halfway through the period, Nashville controlling play again. 13:53, Jeannot would take his second penalty of the period, a cross-checking. Zibanejad would hit a post on that power play. Again, he's just a magnet to those. And Nashville had decent possession during that penalty kill. That was not the Rangers' best power play chance tonight. 16:44, Blais would take his second penalty of the evening, an interference call. Gaudreau leads a shorthanded rush. Back pass right to a Nashville player, which led to a 2-on-1. Thankfully, Shesterkin made the save. It was just a what are you passing to pass from Gaudreau. I don't know. He was leading a shorthanded rush, and he just says, no, you know what, Nashville, it's your turn with the puck. Just gives it right to him. Very weird. Final minute of the period, a rush by Zibanejad and Panarin almost goes in. Very strong game by both goalies. Shots at the end of 2 periods, 22-24 in favor of Nashville. And both goalies only let in 1 goal. So Saros showing that in the absence of Pekka Rinne, he's pushing to maybe start 60 games this season. We'll see if he can actually do that. He hasn't done that in the past. I think the most games he's ever played in a full season is 30-35. So can he push to be a starting goalie based on tonight? You know, he looked good tonight. He just didn't end up winning. Third period, Nashville controlling the play early. A minute and 50 seconds in, Gaudreau took a roughing penalty. He didn't like the call, but you watch the replay, it was roughing. Surprised it wasn't cross-checking. They gave him a roughing call, but, you know, 6-10, or 6-12. Kreider almost had a breakaway. Yossi blocked it. Short-handed 3-on-2 chance, but didn't go in. Nashville continuing to control play right after that. And then at 5:31, Lindgren would score a goal, putting the Rangers up 2-1. He would shoot. It would ricochet off of Fabro's stick and flutter right over Saros' shoulder into the goal, but it was reviewed. It wasn't challenged. It was just reviewed by the refs. and indeed it was offsides. It might have been challenged, actually. I'm not sure. But they reviewed it, and it was offsides. Panarin was offsides, so that goal goes away, back to 1-1. Nashville keeps the pressure on. Not many great chances in the third period, at least about halfway through for either team. You know, teams are getting shots, but none of them are grade A chances like we saw in the first two periods. But at 10:53, Lafreniere would score his second goal of the season. Fox just threads the needle to Blais, who's net front, and just backhands it to Lafreniere. Lafreniere has an open net. He pots it in. Rangers go up 2-1. That would be Blais' second assist of the night and his first 2 points of the season and as a Ranger. So Blais ends up with 2 assists tonight. So good for him. 14:08, Hunt and Gaudreau had a 2-on-1 chance. Hunt passing to Gaudreau, but Gaudreau just couldn't put it in. And then shortly after, Hunt had another chance. So Hunt really pushing and showing why he should stay in the lineup, generating a little bit of offense. Zibanejad had a couple of chances shortly after that, and then Nashville had a couple of chances shortly after that. 17:34, Rangers call a timeout, and Saros is pulled. So Nashville, with about 2.5 minutes left in the game, pull Saros and try and get that goal to tie it. 1:14 left, Rangers icing, so Nashville calls their timeout. 30 seconds left, Trouba just throws it around the boards to try and clear it, and it almost ends up going in the net. It missed by inches. So he almost got an empty net goal from 200 feet away, which would have been nice to see. But at 19:54, Gaudreau had a very nice block in the neutral zone. He was able to skate up, put it in the empty net for his first goal of the season and as a Ranger, putting the Rangers up 3-1 and icing this game for the Rangers' third win of the season and in a row. Stats at the end of the game, shots. Rangers actually caught up to the Preds, who had outshot them pretty much the entire game. Rangers outshoot them 30-29. Face-off percentage, Rangers just under 50% at 45.3. Power play went 0 for 4. Coming into the game, it was 2 for 16, I believe. So now the Rangers are 2 for 20 on the year. Power play only at 10%, which is not great, not what we want to see. But again, it's only 5 games into the season. No reason to panic. Should we worry a little bit? Yeah, we're allowed to worry a little bit, but it's not full-blown panic. Hits 15-10 in favor of the Rangers, and blocks 10-4 also in favor of the Rangers. The trivia question of the evening: which Ranger had 5 assists in the first ever franchise road game against Nashville in 1999? And I did not know the answer to this question. I usually don't, but I'll give you a second if you think you know. It is a pretty obvious answer. It was Wayne Gretzky. The Rangers won that game 7-4 on February 15th, 1999. So the Rangers putting together a nice win streak here, slowly climbing their way up the standings in a very competitive Metropolitan Division. The Rangers are back in action Saturday at 1 p.m. in Ottawa, rounding out the end of this road trip before they go back home. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more videos like it, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next rundown.